Hello and welcome to the semifinals of the second bi-weekly O1800 Voice of Reason tourney. Horse and Pachurico near the top of the ladder. Going to include the standings for 1v1 ladder in the beginning of this video. I'm not looking at it now, but you'll see that these two players right there in the top 5, I believe. This is the number 2 1v1 player. This is the number 4. Both going as UEF, which is interesting. Typically, Finn's Revenge is not a UEF. Well, it's typically an Aeon map. That's what it's known for. But perhaps these two players agreed not to play Aeon, which might make it an unusual, but at the same time, an interesting game. Pachurico. Okay. 3 factories. No mass extractors. 5 pigeons. That's a very big land spam there from Pachurico. If he can pull this off, and the reason he's trying something like this is because of these rocks. So actually, if, yeah, here's a MechMarine. If the MechMarine can deny the reclaim, that might cause problems for Pachurico. The Pachurico now with a MechMarine of his own. And what is he going to be making out of this factory? Yeah, and then one of the engineers, the second engineer, is going to be picking up mass. Let's see, does he mass stall? Nope, but very close. I think this is the point where that MechMarine could have been in a bit of trouble, but it wasn't. I think this is where he's got to suck trees. So let's compare and contrast. Blackheart isn't doing such crazy things. He is also getting second land, but he's slightly slower. On power, they're very similar, a little more production. Actually, this engineer is also quite advanced. And okay, so here it is, the MechMarine. The tank from Pachurico will be a little slow, and it will result in a kill. Did the Snoop get the kill? Almost. I think it definitely helped. Yep. It is always good to do that micro, because a striker that is down to 143 kills is very different than a striker with much higher kills. Look, it looks like good defense there. Did an engineer die? An engineer also died. So both players denying this engineer, although for both players those engineers are critical. Nearly 500 reclaim for Blackheart, 622 for Pachurico, who is now almost mass stalling. He's actually now going to finish the last factory. This looks like a lot of improvisation for Pachurico, as if he didn't really come up with a certain build. Pachurico had an epic against Yama on this map, about an hour long. I don't remember who casted it. I know somebody did. Maybe it was Guile. Maybe I casted it. I don't think I casted it, but one of Guile casts. I think it was Guile, yes. It's about an hour long Aeon on Aeon. So we'll see how long this EF on EF lasts. Although at first, I think some of those experiments from Pachurico, especially that he lost that engineer, this rock was supposed to really help him out, so that he wouldn't mass stall. He's back to a really good economy. And my overall sense, what I've been kind of preaching for the last 2-3 years, the way to work your economy is after your initial build order, split up into 2 groups of engineers, 2 to 3 each, maybe 1 to 3 each, where one group is making land factories, the other one's making pigeons. And it works pretty well, but what I've seen from all these tourneys watching the top players, they don't do that. They have a single group of engineers making both land factories and pigeons, and for the most part they try to make enough power so that they can go ahead and make the factories that they need. Kind of predict with power, and then you make the land factories, which is nice. You don't want to power stall. You can see the ACU for Blackheart really getting close to Pachurico's base, who's forced into pausing his factories just so he could finish a point defense. It's a good looking point defense. You can see the placement of it. If you would have put it here, it would have been a lot less effective. Did Blackheart bring Artie with him? Where is the Artie? Here's the first Artie that's coming in. You can see here this engineer being protected. But I really like the placement of that point defense from Pachurico. Pachurico also. Are we going to go double screen if I remember the button? I don't. Yep, there it is. Pachurico being forced back. I think Blackheart's ACU a lot more aggressive. Also, Blackheart getting victories. And a completed point defense here from Blackheart is critical. Pachurico, yeah, you can see a second point defense is nearly done. These 2 point defenses will make Pachurico's life very difficult. As Blackheart makes it all the way around, denies the Hydra, which I don't think was ever built. You need a player making the Hydra. And is that an Artie? Yes, an Artie going to work in the point defense. So Pachurico putting up a good fight, taking a bunch of shots from point defense. The wall hasn't been finished, so it'll be relatively easy to kill. Takes 13 shots. 13 seconds, and you can see Blackheart denying quite a bit of mass. Although there was quite a bit of mass denial as well, and good work from Pachurico denying PD. I'd love to see him take the artillery that's here, put it here, and start shooting over the wall. Pachurico continues to abuse these units as soon as they come out, and the power for Pachurico is just very low, like 120. That's really bad, although he still doesn't have a problem. You gotta know what you can do with the different power levels. So that's when you have an awareness of what your engineers are doing. If you let your engineers run amok, you can't work with such a low power. But I guess in the case of Pachurico, he just doesn't have the mass to power stall. And now Pachurico going to work. To remind people, this is a best of 3, so even if Pachurico's going to lose here, which he may or may not do it at this point, it'll take a lot of excellent work for him not to lose this. Also some flak. Surprising unit in such a situation. But you can see these engineers from Blackheart, they're giving him a big advantage. He can get reclaim and get more mass extractors. You don't have such engineers for Pachurico, so he's very limited at the rebuilding stage. He's actually sending engineers to the wrong direction where they're going to get killed. And here's an artillery that's going to open up the base. If you can get it around, kill this PD, and then it's over for Pachurico. As Pachurico with 29 kills continues to do something and actually getting quite a bit of reclaim. Let's check that out. Pachurico at 2100, Blackheart 1700. Blackheart quite a bit in the bank, and Pachurico at 33 kills. He needs a couple more for veterancy, taking quite a few shots. Yeah, I think this might be game. Pachurico dies within 10 minutes against Blackheart. I think it all started with this crazy build order that was really dependent on getting all these rocks, but a nice McMarine from Blackheart denied that engineer. And overall there was slight differences, slight advantages for Blackheart, the 5% that he has, which resulted in this victory against Pachurico, which is impressive. Blackheart and Pachurico in this game 2 of best of 3. The first game went to Blackheart, so Pachurico needs a victory. And yeah, we saw major battles between Blackheart and Zoc, and I believe this was played after Blackheart played Zoc 3 times in this map, and playing Zoc 3 times in a map is very good training for a map. So I think Pachurico, under different circumstances, would probably have a bigger shot, but if he's able to pull it off in this one, that'd be very impressive. So first land from both. Look at all those land factories and an air factory. Pachurico, notice the way he positions everything. You know he's going to be assisting his ACU. Very organized. That's nice. Blackheart, not clear exactly what he's going to do, but yep, second land. Third air from both players. And yep, there it is. He's going to reclaim about 1,000 mass right there. Yeah, and this is more of a coverage of the tourney, so I'm going to speed it up. I'm going to try to get these as quickly as possible. So Zoc's Plateau, that's what I call this from now on, because I have no other better name. The way it's positioned is it should really belong to this player, but at the same time, this is a straight shot. And notice how most of the mass extractors are actually in this position, which makes it quite difficult for Pachurico to hold on to this position, especially when the ACU goes through here. And the ACU has multiple possible pathways to follow. See, Blackheart, a slight power advantage. He's got 800 reclaim. Pachurico, identical reclaim. Wow. 3 sig figs. Here comes the air. Scout first. Here comes the air scout first. Oh, wow. So the only difference, Pachurico's slightly quicker. Oh, that's interesting. And this is pretty aggressive, this engineer. Let's see what it decides to do. 2 engineers reclaiming the pond. And already 1 NG trying to get up to the top. One of the reasons to get to the top, there is a lot of ice there to reclaim. Pachurico, a 40 power advantage. And let's see how quickly it rushes the Hydra. That was one of the differences in the Zog Blackheart games, how quickly the players got that. And this Hydra really kind of, it gives a preference to move in this direction for the ACUs, and actually that's what we're going to see. So going in that, you can deny a lot of mask tractors on Zog's plateau. However, going to here I think is the more standard play. As you can see, a major push from Blackheart. It's 2 Snoops and 2 Strikers. That's not enough to go up against 4 Strikers. And what is this engine doing? It's stealing mass. Blackheart at 1400 mass reclaim. Pachurico 900. So falling a bit behind. And big push here from Blackheart, which looks nice. Also Blackheart a bit quicker to the top. But yeah, so maybe a little more aggression from Blackheart, and an air fight that is 3-on-3. And I don't know who's got the better micro. This definitely. Oh. I don't know what's happening. How that micro did not make sense to me. Messed with my head. As I think the major battle is happening here on the left side. On the right side, we do see some aggression from Pachurico as well. I think he will have the personnel to take care of that NG and the striker. That PD won't be finished. And oh yeah, a land factory up on top for Pachurico as well. This is probably a place where Blackheart will drop. As Pachurico, after getting his Hydro, continues to push ahead. He's still got that 40 power advantage. More land factories, no move to Tech 2 yet. Those idle NGs. He's got 3 idle NGs, Blackheart. Yeah, they're not idle anymore because they're getting ready to go Tech 2 land. Blackheart making the move. 3,000 reclaim, killing Snoops. Pachurico, big reclaim disadvantage, but he does have a bigger income. And yeah, he needs to stop feeding the horse. An important battle. I think Pachurico might think he's got the forces. However, I think Blackheart he definitely has more, but does he realize it? And there are not a lot of reinforcements now. I think, oh, look at Pachurico is walking back. And also check out this engineer. What is he doing? Yeah, it's a big victory for Blackheart. We'll see if Pachurico can do a similar victory. But the big difference in this one, it's a major reclaim advantage for Blackheart. In terms of air, both players have been fighting and maybe a slight edge to Pachurico, who can perhaps make a couple of transports. Yep, that's exactly what he's doing. Is he going Tech 2 land yet? Yep. Nope. He's actually not. Sitting on 6 land factories. Another one up on the top ledge. And maybe a counterattack here. There's a lot of reclaim, whoever gets it. And I think Pachurico with his ACU can sandwich this force and claim all this reclaim. He really needs to grab his ledge. You can see an engineer from Pachurico grabbing the available mass extractors. And an interesting dynamic for this map, I think. Strange that everything's happening on these ridges in the middle. Pachurico has left the middle. Blackheart put up a point defense, killed a couple units. And look at these strikers are hoping they'll never be found out by Pachurico. Pachurico definitely knows. And it's kind of like a decoy force. They're going to keep Pachurico occupied while the others run away. I think it was actually successful. Successful drop now from that engineer. Is it going to die? I think it is. That's unfortunate there for Pachurico, but he will be able to deny 2 mass extractors. And Tech 2 land moving in for Blackheart. Pachurico will be at a disadvantage in these land fights, although Pachurico still has a very slight edge. And has he caught up on reclaim yet? 4,000 reclaim, Blackheart 5,000, so that difference is getting smaller. And I think Pachurico has many opportunities to grab this. Unlike Blackheart, who is, I don't think is going to secure this anytime soon. You see Pachurico is already building factories, he's got engineers. This will be a major shift in the battle. So what Blackheart needs to do, he's got the Tech 2, he needs to make that count to start denying map control, denying mass extractors. And you can see Blackheart, both ACUs taking the same path. Blackheart is going to go to Zox's northern plateau. Look at these NGs from Pachurico getting, oh look at that mass. This map is all white, and then on this map there's so many white reclaim possibilities. Good looking point defense, 5 kills. And Tech 2 land for Pachurico. But could be numbers advantage. And these strikers, very brave, but I don't think they want to do what they're doing. Tech 1 versus Tech 1 and a Tech 2 leader here. Pachurico will retreat. Blackheart securing the top ledge. No challenge for the bottom ledge from Blackheart. And who will win this fight? I think... Ooh, look at all those Tech 2. So much Tech 2 reinforcements from Pachurico. In terms of air, this has been very subdued. And some shields now. Both players, once they get to 500, both players really haven't made too much power. See Pachurico actually pausing his air. And whoa, he's got so much reclaims, so much excess. What is he thinking? What is he doing? I'm not sure. Blackheart, yeah, you can see the reclaims have now been evened out. Oh, look, Pachurico suddenly got a big boost of power. What he? Oh, he just completed the Tech 2 power. Yeah, so big eco advantage now from Pachurico. But he's gonna have to deal out. I want to see these numbers from Blackheart. Look at that force: 12, 1 flak, 18 strikers, a couple arty. Really nice mix. One thing that are missing are a couple snoops. Oh, and you can see now the numbers of pillars for Pachurico also going up. Elsewhere, that's a major force. This is very dangerous. And what is that? That's TMD. This is a weak position for Pachurico now. As Pachurico attempts to push Blackheart back, but there are many reinforcements. Pachurico also getting quick reclaim from the battlefield. Then it looks like Blackheart, instead of attacking directly to the weak position, he is going to reinforce his top position, and he will also reinforce his ACU. Both ACUs in this game haven't really participated too much. Pachurico beginning to run away with air and maybe not in air, but with power. But he's mostly making bombers. I'd love to see a couple more air factories from him under these conditions, because does he... No, he's still using all of his power, which is nice. Is he getting an upgrade or something? Where's... interesting placement on a TMD. And Blackheart really... I don't really know what are the different possibilities here. 2 Tech 2 land factories. This is extremely even, and I think the advantage, the major advantage for Blackheart is right there. He needs to put in, and the strange thing is this huge power advantage for Pachurico, which hasn't resulted in an air domination. I think that is a big lost opportunity for him. He can go very quickly to Tech 2 air. Tech 2 air, the factory, you can see it's really not that expensive to get that upgrade. It's 630, and in perspective, one of these tanks is 200. And then you got access to gunships, which would put so much pressure on Blackheart in this game. And I think Pachurico could afford that easily. And the fact that he's not making that move makes me think he's got something planned, but what it is, I have no clue. He continues to build up his forces, and yeah, you can see the fake here from Blackheart. Forced Pachurico to
put a fairly large force here on the left side, which makes the force on the right side a bit stronger. So after consolidating forces, Blackheart will move in, and this is a straight shot to his main base. If Blackheart can successfully execute this assault, this could be extremely bad. And oh, here it is. I knew that Pachurico would be making tech to air, and he is making it in a secret place. Although, here comes a drop. Gotta deal with that. And tech to transport. Are we gonna see ghettos? Ghettos, these late in the game, especially when there's tech to flak next to Blackheart, is very dangerous. Blackheart, meanwhile, has been making some more power. Where is his tech 2 power? Does he have tech 2 power? But he's definitely catching up. And Blackheart now with an assault. He is relatively low on health, but he's got a very good looking force. He's got a shield, which provided him extra 3,000 health. And Pachurico with the gun and tech 2 is going to join the party. I'd love to see a couple T2 PDs here from Pachurico in these types of battles behind your front line. Pachurico really leading the charge. He can get himself in trouble. Wow, I think okay, I gotta go down slower speed. What we just saw is Blackheart run Pachurico over. I think he had a major numbers advantage here. He still has 23 pillars. Pachurico only has 12 left. And once again, we see the Tech 2 land for UEF has been disrespected for a long time. It is actually quite powerful, as what we just saw. So Blackheart moves on to the final. Is he going to play? Who is he going to play? Well, we're going to see the next semifinal right after this. Hello and welcome to the other semifinal. Best of 3, Mozart versus Zoc. This time, no surprises, Aeon on Aeon. Mozart, also top 10, I believe he is number 7. Zoc is number 1. And we're going to see a whole bunch of Auroras. Perhaps Zoc said he's going to go random, and he got Aeon. Yep, that's also kind of funny. Although some people always get EEF when they go random. Sarah is a very good faction in my opinion. Alright, so flares, anything aggressive? Oh, here it is. Aggression from Mad Mozart. And Mad Mozart is one player who perhaps 6 months ago was definitely pretty good, somewhere in top 50, but now he is definitely one of the top players in the game. So he's really improved, much more difficult. I got a chance to play him a number of times. A lot of fun games, but recently I don't think I've had much success. Although recently I haven't had much success against anyone. So flare. What is Zoc gonna do? Zoc maybe going for an assist. Zoc is going to involve the Hydro. Mozart is going to go 5 pigeons, likely second land. So when you do the standard build on Finns, the second land with 5 pigeons, this reclaim right here really fills up your Mozart saying stupid man, fills up your bank. You start it's out of all the maps that you can play, the more reclaim you have early on, the worse that standard build order becomes. And here this is about 1,000 mass that you can get, so it's significant. Here comes the first battle. First shot came to Mozart. I think he's gonna get that victory. Excellent. He just needs to kill the spirit. The spirit has 1 damage per shot. 5. Oh, what a great flare from Mozart. Dominating. He needs to run away from that Aurora. It's gonna be some vengeance from that Aurora. So Mozart taking the early lead with some success. Second land and third air from Mozart. Have to keep my eye on Mozart's eco. Getting the Hydro on this map is really nice because of that reclaim. It really allows you to use your mask quickly. You can rush a tech to mass extractor, or rush a lot of land factories, or make a whole bunch of air. So it really kind of opens up your possibilities if you get the Hydro, but it is much more difficult to defend later on. If you have a compact base, you can really defend it from an ECU with 1 or 2 PDs. When you get the Hydro, it's nearly impossible to get. but it's a preference thing. As we're seeing Mozart using a lot of reclaim. Why does he do that? Because he needs to. You can see he would be stalling on power if he wasn't doing that. Looks like this engineer is going to get out alive. This is the original Aurora. It's going to come in, deny a mask extractor. And a point defense, a very early point defense with a radar for Mozart. The ACU for Zoc much more aggressive. So Mozart kind of deviating from standard play. And he's actually canceled that air factory. He is rushing a tech to mask extractor. So if you ever play Yama on this map, especially with Aeon, he's extremely dominant here. One thing that he always does is rush the tech to mask extractor. And if you go with a lot of aggression against him, you can beat him. If you don't go with aggression, he'll beat you later on. He'll just have way too much mass. So Mozart doing something similar. So we were talking about the weakness of the standard build order, but it's not really that weak. If you go for a tech to mask extractor, you just need to make a couple more pigeons after your land factory. However, you can see what this has resulted in. Total map control for Zoc. But the tech to mask extractor is finished, so even though Zoc has map control, he doesn't have a huge mass lead. Mozart, without getting the hydro, is equal on power. We've also seen air from Zoc, who's working on 5 land factories, so fairly big spam. I think the ACU, yep, Mozart is going to turn back his ACU and is going to go ahead and face Zoc, but of course if Zoc loses a little health, he'll just move back, and no fighting whatsoever on Zoc's side. So this is why keeping the ACU, no, I'm doing some bullshit, exactly. And this is a common feeling that you have. You start doing something cool and it feels cool to you, but it actually turns out to be garbage, and I think that's kind of what's happened to Mozart, and here it is. Ouch. Yep. Losing air when you have Aeon is very bad. Not sending your ACU to go fight the enemy base on Finns is also very bad. Giving up map control on any map is bad. Getting early tech to mask extractors is interesting, and tech to land. That tech to land rush with blazes coming out. Will Mozart be able to recover? Actually, look at this ecos. Map control versus teching. With so much more build capacity with these factories. Yep, tech to land coming up for Zoc as well. But Zoc continues to, yep, that was a radar. Abusing the Aurora. Although, I mean, if Mozart keeps this position, you just reclaim those. And another mass extractor coming up. However, Mozart now could be in a bit of danger. Okay, so you can dodge there or many Aurora shots, but that's a lot. As long as he doesn't get hit by Artie, he might survive. But here, actually, oh my god, Mozart, not the best gameplay. But when you're facing Zoc, you know, kind of like if people watch my video where I was playing Lucian, I played much worse than I usually play, just because you're facing somebody better. It's that psychological thing, and I think that psychological thing made Mozart do crazy things, which eventually led to his collapse. But you can see what he was thinking. He was hoping that he could get this tech to land going, and then he could recover, which was a good idea. Plus, once he would even out map control, he'd have a big advantage, given that he would have all those tech to mask extractors. However, he wanted too much from his ACU, and the Auroras made him pay the price. Hello, welcome to Game 2. Mozart needs a victory. Zoc has played Blackheart on this map a whole bunch of times in best of 15. We saw Blackheart dominate against Pachurico on this map. Maybe not dominate, but I think it looked rather easy for him at the end. Let's see how Zoc does against Mozart. In the last game we saw EF on EF. Here it's going to be Cybern on Cybern. Check out the aggression from Mozart. This is really nice to see. Hunters are going to come out. Where are they going to go? Yeah, I think my biggest issue with this map is the snow. It's much more difficult to look at it. How many engineers is Zoc going to have? 3 engineers, 2 scouts, and a couple more engineers. Yeah, engineers, the unit of build capacity. 1 engineer, of course, equals 2. Oh, well, factory equals to 4 engineers in build capacity. ECU equals to 2 engineers in build capacity. Upgraded Tech 2 factory equals to 8 Tech 1 engineers in build capacity. And Tech 2 engineer is a little more than 2 Tech 1 engineers in build capacity. Mozart second air was 7 pigeons. So we're gonna see aggression early hunters plus bombers from Mozart. He's gonna try to cut off expansion, which I think is good on this map because expansion is critical for both mass extractors as well as reclaim, which I'm hurt, my eyes hurt to try to figure out where that is, but it's everywhere. I saw some back here, which means that it's probably back here, as well as these spawns. That scout avoided, and yeah, you can see where that hunter's going. Needs to keep going, needs to kill that Engie. And Zoc trying to get the Hydra. Hunter. He's gonna get the first kill in this game. Interesting scout for Zoc. Oh yeah, that Hunter probably could have lived. If it kept on going. Second air for Mad Mozart. What is he gonna make? Not clear yet. Zoc has no idea that it's second air, but he's got second air of his own, so we're gonna see bomber. Will Mozart go interceptor? He is not doing anything. No, he's gonna go bomber. So he's gonna have a later bomber than Zoc. Zoc still has an issue with his hunter. He killed one of them. You can see, actually, in terms of mass income, Mozart is ahead, which could be a bit surprising given the much more early aggression. Oh. Is that hunter not paying attention? It's not paying attention. A bit of luck there for Zoc. And let's see what the bombers can do. Scout, bomber, scout, scout. What is this bomber looking for? See, mountains really change how these bombers fly. Wow. Yep. A kill for Zoc. It's a relatively... Yeah, that... Oh. More bombs. Oh, a successful dodge from Zoc. A double bomb. Kills an engineer. Gets one kill. The engineer for... Oh, sorry, the bomber for Zoc has 2 kills. There's the other ones, so 2 engineers. I think... Similar damage from these 2 players. I'm not sure what else that bomber killed for Mad Mozart. Zoc much quicker to his Hydro, and Zoc is looking to get up on the top ledge. Meanwhile, here in the back, a lot of factories planned for Mozart. So Mozart is gonna looks like he's gonna try to make a big spam into this direction. If he's making land factories way over there. You can see Mozart back at base, making lots of land factories, while Zoc has really pushed up ahead. No plans to get that Hydra for Mozart yet. However, he has a Hydra in the back. There's also Hydra in the back for Zoc. So you can see half of Zoc's power is coming from the Hydras, which is quite efficient. Let's check out minute 5, the reclamation numbers. 1200 for Mozart. Zoc slightly ahead, 1300. And what are the plans? Here we're seeing very even. I'll turn it down a little bit. It's not even anymore. A victory for Mozart. And neither player getting on the top ledge yet. First steps to do that from Zoc. See, Zoc is anticipating a drop, which is not happening. We do see a transport. So Zoc is going to drop. That's a major development. Let's see what he does there. So a lot of interceptors for Mozart. Mozart looks like he spotted this bomber with his scout. But the effect is going to be that the Air Force for Mozart is going to be away from the transport. Good looking scouts from Mozart. Is trying to see the entire map. Some aggression from Mozart. This is nice. And oh yeah, and a successful drop. So the top ledge, there'll be a battle on the top ledge between these 2 players. Zoc, yeah, he's gonna grab Zoc's ledge, the one that belongs to him. And here Mozart pulling back his ACS can be easy victory for him. And this transport from Mozart, quite impressive. Mozart's still unable to get his second Hydra. Successful drop from Zoc. Yeah, it's going to be very difficult to knock Zoc off of that ledge. Good Manta from Mozart. Running past the superior force to make as much trouble as possible, but they make the mistake to turn back. Now they're going to die. Gestures for Mozart. And look at this gap. Yeah. And transport, an idle transport for Mozart. There's actually a, I believe, a hotkey to select idle transports, or I think it's probably just transports, but there's a hotkey to select idle scouts, which I think is a better note. I'd rather have idle transports and any scout that's on screen. I really think the on-screen condition should be added to every single selection hotkey in hot build. That way you can zoom here and select all units of that type that you're trying to select on the screen. Gives a lot more control. I've really been missing that ever since hot build's been implemented on FAF. Mozart, pretty aggressive ACU, grabbing a bunch of reclaim. A little after minute 9. Where's the ACU for Zoc? He's just been sitting by his Hydro for most of the day. And here come the Manta. This is just an air factory. Oh, this is a problem. Zoc's gonna have both top ledges. Similar numbers, but a point defense for Zoc, so he shouldn't have too many problems. Although these gestures for Mozart have been very inconsequential. I think they need to go here and kill that so that Mad Mozart can rebuild, make some land. And is this a counter drop? Oh, not a good place to drop. Yeah, the other engineers were like, okay, we don't like that guy. We're gonna drop him off on a point defense. Finally, the gestures beginning to get some. Oh, look at that! There's a bunch of rocks on this. And that's one thing I haven't seen much on this map. People trying to drop on these mountains. I think that'd be kind of interesting. Put radar in there, flak. Oh, look at that. Mozart, how did this happen? Zoc's main base, he's nearly at Tech 3. Wow, that's a quick move to Tech 3, but I think you look at the numbers. Suddenly Mozart, especially on this side, has numbers. With these Manta, need to move in and start doing damage. If they can come in, clear out the power, clear out the mask extractors, and as soon as the ACU's here, they need to just run away and start killing other things. A significant attack now from Mozart is going to do damage. It's going to even out the economies. The second, yeah, I think a couple of rhinos here from Zoc would have helped, but he is going to get a couple of loyalists. What's the response? Yeah, we can see rhinos. No Tech 3 yet. Yep, these Manta were very good for Mozart. They ran away as soon as they saw the ACU. They did the damage. Now they're going to take out the Hydro. They're going to take out some more units. And the ACU for Mozart is all alone, but should be able to take on this force. Also, air domination from Mozart, which he hasn't really exploited, which he should. He needs to keep on spamming on, and he's going Tech 2 air. I think he is going to attempt to exploit. And I think given... Yeah, I think it would be kind of difficult on that type of power. It would be difficult to spam a lot of Corsairs. But if he rushes at Tech 2 Pigeons and makes a bunch of Corsairs, I think he could kill Zoc's ACU. Because he needs to do something, and you can see he's not planning to make land. So Zoc, Mozart, as soon as he saw Tech 3 land, he realized he's lost the land battle. He switched all of his build capacity. And let's see how's his power down. He's doing fine because he's mass stalling. But basically his entire build capacity is going into Corsairs. And Zoc does not have shields. He does have no upgrades, so 10,000 health. Oh, he's got a couple Tech 2 flak, and those could be sniped. So Zoc neglecting air, and that could really be a big problem for him. As we see loyalists, this unit, it's really nothing that can be done against it by Mozart. Mozart actually, he's going to reclaim. This is where the influence of Zlo. I look at Mozart as one of Zlo's students, although he doesn't actually play like Zlo. But there's a few things that he really grabbed from Zlo. For example, don't get attached to your units. They're actual mass. If you're not going to use it, might as well reclaim it. Zoc is also one of those players who exploits that concept. If you made a cruise missile launcher and they made TMD, reclaim your cruise missile launcher. Don't hold on to it Just because it looks good doesn't mean you need to have it. Mozart, 19 kills. And actually Zoc, given how much he's invested in his base, could have probably killed Mozart a long time ago. Loyalists doing damage. And how many Corsairs will there be? They're hidden here in the back. I think if Mozart can get up to 10, he'll easily kill Zoc. I think Zoc needs a couple shields if he wants to have hope. Or spam air like crazy, which he's not doing. All that Zoc is doing is seeing that he is winning the land battle. He's probably feeling pretty good. And that's the thing. Complacency is the biggest killer of players. Because unless you have perfect intel, you cannot be complacent. Just because it feels like you're winning, oftentimes you're not. It's a good feeling when you're winning and you really want to believe it. So here is an air fight. Let's see what this tech to flag. Oh, this air is going to get wiped out. See how it looks like from Zoc's point of view. So yep, here on the radar he's suddenly going to see that there are a bunch of units coming in. He's going to see that they're Corsairs. He's going to stop. He's going to start spamming flak. Standing next to a couple loyalists. He's won the Tech 1 air fight.
Commander under attack.
He will attempt to dodge, and you can see so much health taken out. And against bombers, these are not gunships. Flak is effective, but not that effective.
Commander under attack.
Alright, so you can see, just because you are dominating like Zoc was, doesn't mean you're gonna win. Flak is not very effective against the Corsair. It is effective. You can see a lot of the Corsairs died. So it was just enough Corsairs by Mad Mozart. And I bet you if Zoc had like Tech 2 engineering on his ACU, he would have likely lived. And a Tech 2 shield would have easily saved him, or a little more Tech 1 air. So this is extremely close, but Mozart has tied it up, means we're going to go to game 3. Hello and welcome to the third and final game in this best of 3 semifinal. See which one of these two players moves on to play Blackheart in the final, which will be a best of 5. And hopefully I'll cast that at some point. So I was just looking at the views for the under 1800. I think at this point I've only uploaded the round 1 and round 2. Still working on the final for that one. People should communicate to me what type of videos they like more. Team games, these tourneys, or some really high quality 1v1s. Don't want to overlap too much with Guile. I think Guile does very well with team games. But it's all up to you guys. Well, not completely, but I really appreciate suggestions. I also like all kinds of criticisms, even if it's not constructive. But as long as it's entertaining, if you want to swear at me, that's cool. I don't really get offended. But as long as it's not idiotic, I appreciate it. So don't be an idiot and talk to me. So let's see. Both players rush into the Hydra. Not surprising. A very close Hydra on this map. Open waters. I think in the future tourneys, I'm going to promote this map more. It's really kind of fell out of favor, but it's quite interesting. Very frustrating. It's one of the only small maps where Navy is critical. And here Navy just dominates. I think there's a lot of opportunities at interesting Tech 1 naval battles. Not surprisingly, both players going with Cybern. I remember it was me and some good player versus Zlo and Mozart going 1v1. And I was across from Zlo on this map. I was here and Zlo was there, and the entire game for me was lost when Zlo came in with a slightly quicker frigate. And he came with a frigate and a sub. I bet you I already bitched about this, but I'm gonna keep bitching about it. And my submarine stopped shooting the enemy sub, started shooting the frigate, which caused me to lose Navy, caused me to lose the game. Which sucks. I don't know why I'm saying it. I just need sympathy, I guess. But yeah, this game really hurts sometimes. Sorry. Mozart, where is he going? He's gonna pay a visit. I've never seen this. I've only ever seen the players go really quick with ACU to the sides, to the middle, across, but I've never seen one visit the middle and walk across. How I guess somewhat interesting. Going with an engineer to the middle could be dangerous because you can already see a bomber is waiting for that. And here's a discussion. Had a discussion with Alex. Is it better to... Oh, nice. Great interceptor from Mozart. Big thanks for Zoc for always choosing orange. That has really helped me. It really helps for casts. But the discussion with Alex was about whether or not airplanes are better when they're sitting on the ground or when they're patrolling. Because the argument for them sitting on the ground, and of course then the direction really matters, where they're pointing. When they're rising up, the entire time as they're lifting off the ground, they need to gain elevation. They can be shooting. So it's as if they're hovering and shooting as soon as they see an enemy unit. But of course, if an enemy unit shoots, flies behind them, they have to turn and do their whole thing. But that's an interesting thing to think about, especially with bombers. You can put a bomber into an expansion. Oh, this is big for Zoc. He has claimed that position. There's a bomber that's coming in that direction. Good scout. But of course, it's too late. Check out all them scouts. And an early frigate. You can see in terms of Navy, a lot more Navy for Zoc. One shipyard. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Assist and land. They're going to assist. This is a lot of build capacity. This is a build capacity of 3 shipyards together with those NGs. And a submarine. 2 subs versus frigate. Oh, it's really loud cars outside. The thing about subs, their weakness is how slowly they kill a frigate. So this frigate has the opportunity to do quite a bit of damage. Makes a mistake not shooting that NG. Maybe it wasn't a mistake. Maybe Zoc wants this NG to spend mass repairing that factory. There's never a simple answer in this game. Oh, and yeah, that sucks for Zoc. Although, not a big deal given that he already has a foothold. 2 ACUs are going to battle it out on the left side. As the naval battle continues, where frigates continue to get killed by submarines for Zoc, so a bit of a mistake, I think. Yeah, now the submarines, given the superior build capacity from Zoc on naval, I think he's going to have superior numbers of the subs. And 2v2, this will be quite bad for Mozart. You see, it's also, the damage is spread. And contrary to popular belief, would you believe that this unit's more expensive than that? I think a lot of people think that the Tech 1 subs are cheap. Look at this, 360, 250. So this is a fairly expensive unit with low health and low DPS. You're really paying for the fact that it doesn't get shot by surface ships. And look, the middle just completely taken over except for one mask extractor. Extremely even game. I would give a slight edge to Mozart in terms of map control. Perhaps, depending on what happens with this drop and how quickly those NGs can grab the mask extractors. In terms of Navy though, look at this build capacity. I think Mozart is Zoc is poised to dominate naval unless Zoc does something to remedy the situation. He's already got a naval factory building up some build capacity there. Look at that scout. In this really ugly mountain. If anybody's played the original Tomb Raider, this is what these textures look like. One of the greatest games ever made. For those lucky enough to have played it. Yeah, that's sucks. If you had a question whether or not that gun has splash, it was just answered for you. 7 kills. Total air domination by Mozart, except for that scout. And we should anticipate more drops. That was very disappointing for Mozart. Those Manti could have caused all kinds of problems. As the ACU and ACU battle is going to come up, and in a best of 3 third game, the 2 players have to be very wary with their ACU. I think in the first 2 games you can take some risks with the ACU, but in the third one it's a lot more dangerous. Here comes a superior Tech 1 Navy from Zoc. He should be in a position to run everything over here. He can easily shut down the production. As here's Mozart Zoc. Mozart, given his problems in the Navy, might think about trying to kill Zoc here, although look at that production. I don't think he's going to be able to. And one thing about Zoc, And I think that's something quite unique to this game, given the size. He always attacks simultaneously on multiple fronts. And that's also some of the top players like Lucian. If he attacks in one place, he will automatically attempt to attack in other places. And you can see how these attacks all happen simultaneously. Zoc took over the Navy. He attacked the right side. And this fight happened at the same time. And Mozart there has to make a very quick decision, has to micro very quickly to see where he needs his attention. I mean, this battle is completely lost. There's nothing he could do. On the top, it was quite dominant. You can see Mozart put up a couple point defenses. There are Medusas coming up, so that's not going to work. Not enough build capacity there either. Oh, and Tech 2 gunships, I did not see that from Mozart. I think these could be used. That Tech 2 air could be used to get rid of all that Tech 1 Navy, and yeah. Look at all that flak. Zoc running back home. He's not gonna have this fight. He knows he has an advantage. Oh, and another drop that I missed. So, yeah, a lot of things happening. Mozart showing off that he can do misdirection as well. Perfect time to drop somebody's when they attack you. A lot of flak here. I think Mozart might have a case for winning that battle, especially that he's got his ACU, but he no longer has air control. And I would really love to see these gunships take out those frigates. There's actually no frigates. Put a single torpedo bomber here, and it'll just continue flying. It's only 200 mass with all that build capacity. Easily afford it. Oh, yes. And Zoc is going to have map control on the right side. I think Mozart, with a big enough push, can take over the bottom here, given that there's no Tech 2. The ACU is a big weapon. He has to be very careful, especially now that he's lost air control. And no sign of Tech 2. You can, oh yeah, there's a Tech 2 factory, but not a lot of build capacity for Navy for Zoc anymore. Gunships, yeah, they gotta take care of the single frigate. Submarines will retreat. Quite a bit of good reclaim here. And the lack of torpedo bombers is disappointing. Let's check out here who's got the better micro. I think Mozart is sort of getting overwhelmed by numbers, but he's going to regroup in a different position, and he'll also get his ACU in. This is... Mozart should be able to win this battle. It's going to give him a lot of reclaim. Mozart also attempting to rebuild. And an air fight that I think Zoc is going to win. Is Zoc going to go Tech to air here? Because if he goes Tech to air, he might be able to end the game. Of course, Zoc, no significant advantage, which is just going to continue to increase. Zoc on the reclaim 6,000. He's got plenty of eco. He's got all kinds of options. Only 3,000 for Mozart. As Mozart has actually been overwhelmed. The spam from Zoc. Mozart saying he's out of practice, which is true. He hasn't played that much lately. And I think he's given up. He's no longer producing anything. And he's lost Navy, he's lost air, he's lost map control. He still has the middle. Until Zoc gets his Tech 2 ship out, it's going to be a cruiser. Mozart 24 kills, and given that Mozart lost this fight, I really think this is the kind of feelings you get when you get beat by somebody like Lucian or Zoc. You're just like, God damn it, why do I even play this? This is lame. But concentrate on more important things. It's definitely a good advice from Zoc. Anything? No, I think Mozart has thrown in the towel. High is low, high Pachurico, high BC Blackheart. Ah, yeah. Oh, look at this. This is the wrong way to do it. Zoc poised to end the game with Tech to air. No anti-air in sight for Mozart. Zoc is going to be in the final against Blackheart, which you guys should see hopefully soon. I'll try to get that out as soon as I can.